Hello, my name is Leanne Sherrod, a speech-language pathologist and the President and Chief Clinical Officer here at Expressable. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to discuss one of the most important techniques you can use to grow your baby's language abilities: labeling and requesting. After children learn to successfully imitate words that another person says, the next major developmental goal is helping them learn to speak independently. And this starts with labeling. Labeling involves helping children learn to say the names of various items in their environment all by themselves. While they may not start using these names until a little further along their communication journey, this skill can be worked on from your child's earliest days. Babies learn from experiences. Around 2 to 3 months of age, you'll notice their eyes become full of curiosity and they begin to observe and take interest in their surroundings. These are the perfect opportunities to begin teaching your baby the names of items. To do that, you want to watch what your baby's interested in, listen for any communication such as a coo or babble, and then label what they would have said in that very moment. If your child looks at their plate and says, "Ba," you could say, "Banana. Yes, it's a banana. Yummy banana."
Look at the cow. Look at the cow. Wow, and look at the pig. Look.
Studies have even shown that the number of words a 6-month-old baby understands is correlated to how often they hear the words in their daily lives. So take every opportunity to speak with your child in model language, which will in turn help them develop an entire bank of vocabulary. You can do this anywhere, teaching your child the names of items as you play together, are out and about running errands, helping them get dressed, and even while reading books.
Should we get the baby dressed? This is her shirt. Shirt. Good job. We gotta put her shirt on. Look at the baby's pants. Pants. A bear. A moose. A hat. Hat. Can you say hat? Hat. A hat.
As your kiddo gets a bit older, you also don't necessarily have to wait until they're captivated by something. You can point and direct their attention to an item or object you want to label throughout your day. Pretend you're out on a walk with your child. If you see a dog, point to the dog and label it a few times, like this: "Dog, dog, the dog is walking." It probably won't surprise you at this point when I say that repetition is key. Just like you repeat words to help your child imitate, you need to repeat the words frequently to help your child learn them.
Okay, ready? We're gonna do head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, okay? Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes.
Over time, you can assess your child's knowledge of different words by asking them to identify each item. For example, next time you're on a walk, you can ask, "Where's the dog?" Or when reading a book with your child, ask them to point to a picture of whatever is on the page.
Where's baby's eyes? Can you show me her eyes? Good job. Eyes. Where's baby's nose? Where's baby's nose? Good job. Good job, nose. Wow.
As your child uses different items in their daily tasks, playing with different toys, using a toothbrush, or putting on a shirt, you get the idea. Ask your child, "What's this?" or "What do you see?" Remember to always pause and wait. Give your child the opportunity to label the items they see.
Dog. Duck. Turtle. 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 Can you say turtle? Turtle. Turtle. Turtle.
Labeling is a huge milestone, and it's certainly one to celebrate, but it's important to understand that language development doesn't stop at labeling. Children go through a time period of taking their labeling skills and learning to use this new vocabulary for the purpose of requesting. Think about it like this. A child may easily label their favorite teddy bear as bear, but using the word bear to request that you give them the bear is an entirely different purpose for that word.
Do you want a puzzle or bubble? Puzzle or bubble? You want bubbles? Bubbles. Bubbles.
If your child has begun labeling, start watching for them to shift their focus from labeling items to requesting items. To practice requesting, you first need to think about things that are motivating for them. Maybe these are things like a favorite snack, toy, or book. Then watch for opportunities to naturally prompt your child to request. For example, if your child is reaching or pointing to something they want, ask them, "What do you want?" Make sure to wait a few seconds to see if your child will respond with a verbal request. Please, or I want, or give me. In the beginning, if they're not responding,